Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Football Report. I'm your host, Spiro Maricas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Rob Ambrose. Today we're coming to you from Johnny Unitas Stadium. Coach, the Tigers head to Elon this past Saturday, and again, a team they were ranked 14th in the country, going to go up after this past Saturday. A team that came in playing very well on both sides of the football, and you saw why they were ranked 14th and now higher in the country.
Good ball club. I think we went through the schedule. By the time we get to the end of the season, we will play at least 6 ranked teams and 1 FBS team, and so the quality of our opponent week to week is always going to be impressive. Thought we showed great improvement. We shut down our run game almost completely, which is going to be one of the keys to victory, and it gave us a chance to be in the ball game in the fourth quarter. And did a great job with that. And all the good things we did, we cannot turn the ball over twice in the fourth quarter, especially in their red zone. That's a key point. It's good to see us, within a score in the fourth quarter with a chance to knock this thing off on the road against a nationally ranked opponent. But got to close the door. Got to finish the game.
You did shut down the running. They came in averaging 176 yards a game on the ground, and at one point late in the game, they were only averaging about 2.2 yards per carry. What were you able to do to shut down that tough rushing offense?
Honestly, it's more of a progression of what we've done. The front seven defensively has gotten better and better and better week after week. And while I was encouraged in the Delaware game, I was even more so in the Elon game. The front seven, those gaps, 7 guys heading a gap doing their job, and they're having fun doing it. Ryan Kearney's the mad chemist over there. He's running that thing, but he and Mason Woods are playing as good as I've seen 2 inside backers play here in a long time together. And what we're doing up front, Jesus Gibbs is finally starting to be the player that we always thought he could be. And because he's playing as well as he is, he's raising the level of everybody else up there. I have multiple guys with tackles for losses against a nationally ranked team. A very, very good offensive front. So I think we're getting better up front, seriously.
One thing that did hurt you defensively was their third down conversion rate. At one point, I think it was like 11 of 16, and some of them were 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. That really hurt you in the ball game.
Tried 12 of 21 for the game, which, to be honest, the third down is pretty much the key. We were 12 of 20, giving up 12 of 21, over 50%, and 21 third down attempts in a football game is almost unheard of. It also tells you what the time of possession is. It's awful hard to have offensive rhythm when you can't get on the field because your defense is out there for long periods of time because we won't get off the field on third down. Right now, we're one of the best first and second down teams in the country in positive production, putting guys in negative position, but we are not getting off the ball on third down. So you can imagine what we're practicing this week.
All right, you were in a bye week, and what do you do during this bye week to lead up to your next game in 2 weeks against William & Mary? And does the way you're playing dictate that? In other words, back when you're a team that's headed to the playoffs, do you handle the bye differently than a team that has lost 4 straight games?
It always depends on what part of the season you're in when that happens, what your injury situation is, and what your schedule is after that. All those things have to be weighed to figure out what we're going to do. You did some research over the years and talking to other coaches at different places. There's an old saying, the best way to stay in shape is to never get out of shape. And that means the same thing for football shape. And while you have to walk in the bye week, you have to walk this fine line of working on things that you need to get better at. And that work has to be of a high level, of a high tempo of speed and physicality. But you have to heal yourself a little bit because you're going to go for a run for 5 or 6 games just to have a chance at the playoffs, and you're going to have to be healthy to do it. So, everybody in the country, no matter what level's beat up at this point in time, everybody's got to get healthy on a bye week. But you got to find a way to get better.
Do you take a couple of days off during that bye week, or just reduce the amount of physicality?
There's tweaking that goes on in the schedule. If you think about players and the ability to stay in shape, to stay in football shape, which is both physical and mental, they're creatures of habit. Though if the minute that you start breaking their schedule, they spray a little bit. And as things are progressing and we feel like we're getting better week to week, we don't want to change that. So we're going to keep the same schedule that we keep. We're going to practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the mornings. We're still going to lift. We're going to do all those things. Practice will be cut down a little bit, and the periods will be very, very specific to what we're trying to get done. I said this today in the conference call that the amount of third down work we will do in the bye week will probably be more than I've ever done as a head coach in my career, just out of necessity. So we're working with the strength conditioning staff, the training room staff to keep these guys as healthy, get them back. There aren't a lot of dudes in the country right now in America where your fourth string quarterback is the guy who's projected as the starter for the next game. We need to get healthy. We need to get healthy, but we need to get better.
Speaking of which, how banged up is your quarterback, Mr. Pigram?
He is, and so is Scott Smith. So, the good news is, coming into the game, I thought Nate Kent did admirably. He was prepared to play the game and did some really, really good things. Helped us drive the ball and give us a chance to score. The bad news is we're playing number 4 and we're one snap away from playing number 5. But the good news is we have a number 5. So, these kids are getting a chance to get better. Terrell's getting a chance to get healthy. Scott's getting a chance to get healthy. Tyler's clearly out for the year. But it creates a tough situation. The good news is those guys really work hard together. It's not just I'm going to do this and you guys aren't. The quarterback room is the quarterback room. They all want to be good at what they do for a living, so to speak, and they work with each other to get better.
The one thing you did mention before the game Saturday was that you finally had your full complement of running backs this past week. So obviously, assuming everybody came out of the game healthy, you'll have that full complement on the 22nd when you take on William and Mary.
I'd say by the time, knock on plywood, whatever, we'll have the opportunity to be the healthiest that we have been since the season started at running back position by the time we get to William and Mary.
And your next opponent is William and Mary. They're coming off a huge win this past week against Delaware. So they are a team that, your players are going to look and they're going to say, we got a chance to really do some damage on the 22nd.
Well, yeah, if you look at the growth we made in the Delaware game, and what I'm asking them to do is get better every practice. I'm asking them to get better every week as a player, as a unit, and as a team, and they're doing that. I can't ask them anything better as a man. I want you to get better every day. And I'm appreciative of that growth. However, the name of the game is to win ball games. I was encouraged coming out of the Delaware game. I was more encouraged coming out of the Elon game. And then if you're on the road in our league and you're in a 7-point ball game in the fourth quarter against a nationally ranked opponent, yeah, you're doing something right. You're moving in the right direction. I told them before, we've been knocking on the door. We're trying to kick the door down. I think we may bum rush the door, seriously. And a good way to get this thing started as you watch this growth and progression is put all this stuff together and beat probably the hottest team in the league right now, being William and Mary. And if they're healthy, they may be tops in the league when the season is over. So this would be the game to win to give you great confidence for the last run.
The one thing coaches hate more than anything else in the world, and it is what bit you on Saturday, is the turnover and a couple of fumbles. Again, good defensive plays leading to those fumbles, but I'm assuming you work on that also during the next 2 weeks.
Oh, of course. Of course. We work on that all the time. But you think about it, they scored 20 points off of turnovers. Bare minimum, we should have been 7-7 at halftime. Instead, we're down 14-7 because we turned the ball over in a 2-minute drill when we did not need to. And then we handed them basically 14 points in their own red zone in the fourth quarter. These are mistakes of which we can correct. And if we do correct them, we look like a much better football team. I think the kids are starting to understand the detail of this finally as a group, and they're taking to it. It's a good thing it's a bye week, though.
Another weapon that you probably saw coming, but most of us didn't see coming, is your punter, Riley Williams. I mean, this kid's got a leg.
And he's just getting started.
And it's not only that he kicks it far, but he kicks it high.
He does. And, we've been blessed with some really tremendous specialists in my time here. Both kickers, kickoff guys, and punters. I mean, Shane McDonough's loving to death. He's a Towson grad, but he took the money and went to NC State, and he's doing great. He's their starter now. I got to say the same about Riley. And Coach Johnson and I have had some experience with Australian punters over our careers. And the story of this kid and how he got here and the hard work that he had to put in, the hoops of fire of which he had to jump through to be a Tiger, I could not be more grateful for his presence. And he's just getting started. You see he's dropping 65, 70-yard bombs in the air, but every now and then the inconsistency shows up and you see a 28-yard side of the foot roller. That's why his average is 46, 47 right now and not 62, which is clearly within his realm of possibility. You're talking about a kid by the time he graduates here, he might hold every single record we ever had as a punter. Sorry, Sean. Sorry. The kid's really that good.
What can he do to become more consistent? Is it just a matter of reps?
Oh, it's a matter of reps and consistency and as he kicked in Australia back home, the type of venues and the type of crowds and the type of games that he kicked in, it's a different thing when he's here. And he's learning different places on the road. I don't think he's ever kicked a ball under the 40 degrees in his life, and he's going to have to do that here. So there's going to be lots of experiences of which he's going to get to grow through, but his work ethic is on par with anybody I've ever seen, especially the young kid. He's a very, very mature, driven, focused young man whose ceiling's pretty damn high.
All right, well, we can't wait to watch him again, and hopefully he's not real busy on the 22nd. You'd prefer not to use your punter.
Truth be told, when we talk, he's like, Coach, he goes, yeah, I love the stuff that I can do. He goes, but I'll be really happy if I stand on the sidelines a whole game. That's how many times you get a punter who that's his one job, and he's like, yeah, I just want us to win. I don't really care.
I don't think many coaches want to see their punter run out there 10 times.
And over the history of time here, we've done a pretty good job keeping him off the field, so let's keep doing that.
All right, that'll do it for this edition of the Tiger Football Report. Tigers are off this week, back in action on the 22nd, homecoming against William & Mary. For the head coach of the Tigers, Rob Ambrose, I'm Spiro Marikas, and thanks for tuning in.